Are you ready?
The station leading the way with exclusive interviews,
Follow the leader.
stimulating conversation, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader at KBLA 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
You ready?
It's the queen of royal badness.
It's time for the Raw Report with Robin Ayers.
Highlighting people and things you should know about.
Robin's got you covered. Follow Robin at Robin Ayers. You're listening to the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Robin's got a lot to talk about.
You know, I remember when we first started this song. All the fellas, Tim, Raphael, who me? I'm Dwayne. And I'm an Aquarius. You see, we were over in Trinidad and Tobago for a while. We met a few friends, had a good time, you know. But while we were there, we experienced something called slow wine. No, it's not just drinking, no. Pay attention. Let me explain.
You are inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580, where we bring you the latest in entertainment news, trending topics, and interviews. I am your host, Robin Ayers, and I'm with you guys Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. on your drive home. I hope it's not too bad out there. Wasn't too bad for me. Wherever you are, you know what? Join in with us and celebrate Raphael Sadiq. It's his birthday. That's a vibe, Andy. Yeah, that's a vibe. Feels so good. Feels so good. That's great music. What happened? What happened? I still say that there is a saturation. Some would say oversaturation, but I'm just gonna say it's just saturated with music, and I feel like once upon a time we were able to only receive a certain amount of artists, only get them a certain type of way on the radio, or you had to watch the music videos or whatever. But now we are inundated with content and artists and people who are signed and independent labels, all of that. So it's just so much to take in. And a prime example is when I actually do the Who's Got Next songs. There are a lot of hot artists out there, and I bet you we hear it on this show and then we're done. And then we're done. Andy, do you have any answers for me?
Microwave society.
Microwave society.
So our attention spans are just not there, right?
Yep.
We'll hear it once and not probably want to follow up. And we're just not in love with love anymore. At least the fellas are not.
Yeah.
I was talking to my lady the other day, and I felt like we talked about it before here on the Rock Report. Like, we don't have any male R&B groups out there, suited and booted, you know, singing in the rain, trying to serenade to, you know what I'm saying, the beautiful young lady.
Yeah.
Wherever. We're not doing that no more.
We're not doing that anymore. You're right. And also, what's really sad is they get clowned if they do try to come out and they try to do the little doo-wops and the way that they dress and all of that. People clown them now.
You're a simp.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad, but I don't know. I literally don't know. If we don't go back, how do we go forward? How are we moving forward? I don't know, yo. I don't know. Okay, well, hello to you, Raw Squad. I see you guys starting to come on up into our YouTube. I hope you are doing well. I'm trying to get into this song, but you know, I'm a little disappointed because, you know, of our conversation. Anyway, Gayle King, 69-year-old Gayle King is on the cover, and she has an entire spread inside of Sports Illustrated magazine. Now, I'm not sure. Okay, people obviously are giving her props. It looks very age appropriate. It looks really good, but Gayle King on the on the cover of Sports Illustrated is kind of funny in the sense that, you know, it is direct opposite of what we're used to seeing. But someone actually mentioned that we're not gonna. That's literally the way of magazines these days. You're not gonna get your information from there. It's seemingly maybe this is becoming a contribution to older women, perhaps. I'm not sure. We know that Martha Stewart did it. She was in a bathing suit and everything. So I don't know, but I will say this because I love love and I love positivity. Gayle King looks really good. So shout out to Gayle King for covering this, the cover of Sports Illustrated magazine. Wow. We want to give our love and prayers to Romeo Miller, the son of Master P, who he said he's recovering from an accident. I guess he had spine and neck injuries. I mean, he actually had surgery on this. So we're sending our love to him. That's no joke. I mean, you have anything related to the spine, especially, and your neck. I mean, I get upset when I get a toothache, that type of pain. But the spine and the neck, you know, they have such an importance to our body. So, I mean, shout out to him, and hopefully he recovers well and really soon. It looks like, I mean, the fact that he's taking his own pictures, he's in the hospital, it looks like he is doing well, but we wish him definitely a speedy recovery. So that's Romeo Miller. Tyrese is getting, people need answers. Tyrese, here we are again, man.
What more do you want from me?
I got a lot of love for Tyrese. I do. I have love for Tyrese, but people are wondering what happened because he seemingly just left. I don't know if there was a reason behind it. He was performing, and that was over the weekend, and he just left. He jumped off the stage, got in the crowd. He was singing a little bit, and then he started moving his way out. I don't know.
I believe he was served a subpoena or something like that.
Served a subpoena.
Yeah.
Huh.
Or whatever.
On stage? At that moment?
My understanding, he was performing How You Gonna Act Like That or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he saw somebody going up. I didn't see any video or anything like that, but I was told, or what I read was that he walked off the stage because he was being served a subpoena.
Interesting. I have never heard that. I've never heard about that, but you know, all I hope, okay? I hope everything is all right, Tyrese. But people want to know, because if you pay your money and you feel like you didn't get an entire, like a full show, like Anita Baker, people have a problem with Anita Baker right now. Anita Baker, first of all, you know, we covered a whole thing on Anita and Babyface, but Anita Baker straight up canceled a concert 10 minutes before she was supposed to hit the show. Imagine flying in. This happened as well recently for the Friends and the Lovers tour that was happening over in Vegas. People flew in, landed, turned on their phones, and then they see notifications that the actual concert had been canceled. What? I spent my money, and you know, that's tough. That's why I don't like doing stuff I don't like going out of my way to go attend anything, because anything could happen, and then we both mad. All right, then we both upset. Anyway, Wendy Williams, you know, we have been hearing a lot about her. It seems as though whoever her guardian is, they have sold her penthouse, her property that was in New York, for $3.75 million. And here's the thing, though, that condo actually sold for less than what she paid for it. And it's how much? It's $822,000 less than what she paid for it. Now, I do understand things happen, and even in the market, but $822,000 less than what you paid for it, it saddens me, because I don't know how much of this is up to Wendy. You know, I'm just not sure. As you all know, she's battling significantly what looks to be early dementia. And she's had financial issues and all of that. But at least she has some money, some millions of dollars to her name. And, you know, hopefully she can still take care of herself as well as her son and her family with that money. But yeah, it's not a fun story to report on, and it's not fun watching what's going down with Wendy Williams. I don't enjoy that at all. But anyway, on to other news. Andy, you want to go ahead and get to the Raw report?
Now it's time for a breakdown.
All right. That was all right. I'm just kidding, Andy. I'm just playing Andy. Andy is my guy. I'm totally kidding with you, Andy.
I know, but you better stop it.
Okay, all right, I'm done. Okay, so today we're talking about Shaunie O'Neal, who, as you may or may not have heard, she recently came out with a book. Good for you, Shaunie. People want to know her story. They want to know about, you know, her background and the love and the loss and all of the things. And she recently had just a snippet, just a clip from her book go viral. Shaq he responded to this clip that had gone viral. It was just a small quote. And she's now speaking up about that. She says that things were being taken out of context, and she feels like people are misinterpreting her words and what she actually meant. But probably what's even more important than that is America's obsession, in my opinion, solely my opinion, America's obsession with sound bites and video clips and taking only one thing that you see and not doing any research, not looking into it at all, not reading, not anything. And you take the clip and you walk away with all of your own opinions. There's entire conversations and opinions formed behind just sound bites, but it's an obsession, I feel. Andy?
Hence what I was talking about earlier about this being a microwave society.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're not going to take time to, watch a 3-hour Club Shay podcast. You know what I'm saying? We want that joint broken down.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I hear where you're going, and I want to allow the conversation to go on. But I also want to lie responsibility, once again, I've said this several times, on us as consumers, which I think you're also going to address as well. Because, we know that these are clips. But, yeah, we do sound off on said clip.
Yeah.
If you're creating the clip, there's a specific reason why, you're showing that particular clip, right? But, we'll talk about it some more.
Yeah, we'll talk about it because I put out clips and have people, discuss the clips. It's a good conversation. We have a great contributor with us on the line today. I'm sure she's going to have a lot to say about this conversation. We're also going to talk about Queen Naija. She's an R&B singer. She was once a part of, was it American Idol? She was on one of the reality shows. Great singer. And her partner, Clarence, and the father of her son, they're talking about relationships, and social media turned it right back around on them. They were trying to give advice to people about relationships, and social media is a trip. Again, people, it's interesting. People just turn it right back around on them. So we're going to get to all of that on the other side with our contributor. You guys stay right there. Stick tight. All right, this is going to be a good conversation. You're listening to The Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
I'm Avery Wilson, and you're watching It's Robin Ayers.
You're inside The Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hi, it's Tavis Smiley. First, thank you for your support of KBLA Talk 1580. We deeply appreciate you. So, I get asked all the time, Tavis, when are you going to bring back that State of the Black Union Symposium you used to do? You know, the one where you had all those black intellectuals on stage every year and everybody watched all day live on C-SPAN? Yeah, I know the one.
Let's bring them back.
Well, I am pleased to tell you that if you go to KBLA1580.com right now, you can sign up to be in the audience here in Los Angeles when we go back live on C-SPAN with a stage full of black thinkers and influencers for a historic conversation. America has never seen a stage full of black folk talking about the urgency of now. Climate justice, climate equity, climate resilience. It's going down Tuesday, June 18th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the California Science Center in Exposition Park. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com. Once we reach capacity, you'll have to watch us on C-SPAN. But if you want to be in the room when we go live from Los Angeles, Tuesday, June 18th, head to KBLA1580.com right now to reserve your seat. Caring about the climate, caring about the community. With KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
I'm gonna leave up there. Hey!
The thing no one tells you about periods is that your flow changes every day, and so should your tampon size. Tampax has 5 absorbencies to match your changing flow. If it hurts to remove, go down a size. If it leaks, go up a size. Only Tampax has a leak guard braid to help give you up to 100% leak and odor-free protection. All-day comfort and protection for under $5 a month. Based on average U.S. consumer usage at manufacturer suggested price. However, pricing is at the sole discretion of the retailer. Excludes 8-count pack.
1 in 3 children born today will get diabetes. This sad prediction by the Centers for Disease Control will come true if millions of Americans don't improve their lifestyles, especially by changing what they eat, how much they eat, and how active they are every day. Every 23 seconds, another American gets diabetes. Stop diabetes before it starts. To learn more, contact the American Diabetes Association or download our free diabetes education programs at learningaboutdiabetes.org.
Watch out! You got me!
The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news.
You're inside the Raw
Report. With Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
And I am not here alone. I am looking forward to having this conversation with Daja Bell, who's on the line with us. Hello to you, Daja. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How you doing?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much. And the reason why you are a great conversation and a great person to have this conversation with is I'm talking about, I said obsession with sound bites and clips and things like that. Maybe it's not an obsession, okay? Maybe, but that's the word that I use. We're going to go with that for the show, okay? But I feel like you're a perfect person to have this conversation with because you are also a third of your own podcast. You guys have conversations all the time. You put out all these different clips and people they weigh in on the clip. Now, I was speaking with Andy, and because I do the same thing on my social media. I put out clips of entire conversations that I have for people to debate on, agree with, or not. And oftentimes, that one clip, because we only have about 1 minute and 30 seconds to do a reel, put on a reel, it's edited. So I take out some things or whatever and just put it together. But it's going to come in handy. That background information is going to come in handy because I want to talk about the fact that Shaunie Henderson, I have to remember not to call her Shaunie O'Neal, but Shaunie Henderson put out a book. The book is called Undefeated for those people who are interested. I feel like it's going to be a great read. I haven't gotten to it yet, but she basically she was talking about her previous marriage to Shaquille O'Neal and saying that she said, I'm not sure I was ever in love with the man. She said she was in love with the idea of, partnership and marriage and family and all of that. Well, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. I didn't see any problem with that per se. Shaq actually weighed in on it after, of course, that one excerpt it went viral. Shaq said, I understand. I wouldn't have been in love with me either. Wishing you all the best. All love. Shaq. And she since admitted, she said, listen, me and Shaquille have a wonderful relationship ever since they divorced. They have 5 children together. I think 5 is the number. They have a lot of children together. They get along well. And that's that. But people of course, on social media have taken what she said all out of context. And now she's going on to say, listen, that's just a small part of what I was saying. There's more to it, but that's just a small part. Give me your thoughts, Daja, on both sides of it. People like us who actually put out content for people to weigh in on, and then people who are only in the comments commenting on these things and then just creating their whole narrative around what was said. Well, give me your opinion and your thoughts on that.
You want my real, honest, unfiltered thoughts, right?
Absolutely. That's the way I want it.
I genuinely believe everybody is stupid. Like, there is absolutely no reason why or how you can formulate a complete thought process by watching a piece of a whole. And at this point, especially if you're an adult, if you're a grown person, like, I'm not talking about teenagers or even people in their younger 20s. Everybody, I will say 26 and above. If you don't understand at this point that clips are chopped up conversations, they are literally meant to drive you to go listen to the full context of the conversation, and you are writing dissertations and think pieces based off of a part of a whole, you're an idiot. And I find myself daily arguing with idiots because how do you formulate a complete thought process, or how do you even formulate an opinion if you didn't listen to the full context? Because you're just listening to pieces. And the problem with the world today and social media and just the way that society is run, like, people only listen to things in pieces, in very small pieces. And the part that triggers you the most, or the part that gives you some type of an emotion, then you respond off of that. It's like you tune out everything else that was said. You tune out the caption that probably gives you a little bit more context. You tune out the thought process of actually going to dive into listening to the whole conversation, and you're triggered by whatever you want to be triggered by, and then that somehow becomes the content creator's problem, or it becomes something that they have to defend or speak against. And I am, on top of the fact that I'm a podcaster, I'm also an educator. And I tell my students all the time, like, you can have an opinion, but your opinion needs to be based off of or have some type of foundation and citation and some type of facts. You have to pull some type of knowledge from somewhere else before you can formulate an opinion. Prove what you're saying is right or wrong. And it's like that lesson has gone over the masses' head as a whole, and everybody is like, well, I'm upset, and this bothered me. Like, bro, did you listen to it? Did you click the link? Did you hear the whole conversation? Have you read one book in the last 10 years that a teacher didn't tell you to read? I want everybody to go seek the help that they most desperately need. That's what I need.
Oh my goodness. Daja, you came with some, that was it. I'm
triggered.
I feel it. But you speaking on behalf of yourself and me and many other people who deal with this as well, with people taking things out of context, or people not searching a little bit further, interrogating something. Andy, jump in on this. I know you want to. I don't know what you got to say, Andy.
Man, I think we should just have a little bit more grace on our peoples or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because quite frankly, this is what's being fed to us. And quite frankly, if I'm going to look at a clip of a particular thing, I'm probably not going to want to watch the whole 3-hour situation. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm sure, Miss Dodger Bell, you being a little facetious, you know what I'm saying? But, like, let's have a little bit of grace, because these social media platforms, everything that's being fed to us are in clips. They're not like to say that I have to have the responsibility to go ahead. Man, if I see a clip and I want to respond to the clip, I'm going to respond to the clip. You know what I'm saying? So quite frankly, I just feel like as content creators, you guys need to be conscious of how your stuff is being released. You know what I'm saying? The Hollywood Unlocks, the Shade Rooms and all of that. Yeah, hold them accountable, because they're the ones that's cutting up these full videos or whatnot and breaking it down into clips. But, you know what I'm saying, as an individual, if you're a content creator, I would put the whole thing out there for me to consume.
What platform? Like, the whole
YouTube?
Point, it's like saying, I mean, but most things are available on YouTube. They're also available on other platforms as well. That's like you saying, oh, a new, like, Avengers movie is coming out. I don't know what the movie is about. I'm going to watch the trailer, and then I'm going to write a whole dissertation based off the trailer without watching the whole movie.
People do that.
But that's inaccurate. That would be totally inaccurate. To write an entire dissertation off of a trailer. That would be inaccurate. Yeah.
And that's what people are doing. What you're not understanding is a clip is nothing but a trailer. It's nothing but taking the highest points of a conversation and putting it out there. The reason why we make clips is not for you to deep dive on the clip itself. Is for you to look like, oh, here's an interesting conversation that happened. Let me listen to the conversation. Like, what is the point of hiring editors and hiring these people that put clips together of longer conversations or longer podcasts if the whole premise is not to drive the audience to actually listen to the body of work? If that was the case, then we can just take, like, from my podcast, an example, we can just take, like, a very high thought-provoking topic and say the wildest things that we can possibly say in 15 seconds, and that be the entire show. That's not what we want. We're not putting out clips for you to just ingest the clip, and it will say in captions most of the time. Even if you're talking about a Shade Room or Hollywood Unlocked, click on our link to read the rest of the story, or click on this, or this happened at this part of the podcast, so go to this part, this timestamp, and go listen to the whole conversation and then come back. It is not our fault that you can't talk about microwave culture and then also, back up microwave culture, because that's not a good thing. Because if this is what the adults are ingesting and the adults are pacifying this type of behavior, how do you think that trickles down to the children? It's children, even nowadays, they'll be reading something and they'll read an excerpt of a story and think that they know the whole meaning of the story. No, the trailer is just to entertain. I'm here to entertain you, to suck you in, because I want you to watch my whole movie. That's what a clip is. It's the same thing.
And I'm gonna just say that the consumer does not understand those laws or those rules that this clip is supposed to drive me to the main clip. That's just not how we consume things.
Well, let me step in really quickly. I get it. I'm sitting here in the middle of this, and I'm looking at both sides of the situation. To Daja's point, though, even on the Shade Rooms and the Hollywood Unlocks and the Jasmine brands and all of those, it'll have just a small amount of whatever the article is really about, and then it says read more. Right? Read more. They want you to, they're literally directing you to the website, or even on their stories, they have the links to the website if you want to continue to read. But most people do not have the bandwidth. Let me say this. People actually do or should be able to have the bandwidth if they slow down. This opens up another conversation about what we're being inundated with. This is what we were just talking about, Daja. The fact that there's even just with music, there's so much content, there's so much, and people just want to scroll on. They want to keep scrolling, get something, see something, let me comment on something, and continue to scroll. Listen, I'm not done with this conversation. You and Andy can keep going at it because I like listening. All right, listen, stay with us, you guys. We are right now going to get to some news, traffic, and sports. You're listening to the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, what's up? It's your girl, BB, and you're listening to me on the Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of the Rob Report with Robin Ayers when we come forward.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Baltimore's top Democratic mayoral contenders, including incumbent Brandon Scott and former Mayor Sheila Dixon, who are both black, have cast their primary election ballots. Scott, voting at Engine House 56, aims to continue his elected duties, while Dixon, voting at Thomas Jefferson Elementary Middle School, pledges to unite the city for improvement. Businessman Bob Wallace encourages voters to support Scott or Dixon if they believe they merit re-election. Former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick disputes federal efforts to seize $6,700 discovered by Michigan's Treasury Department. He also challenges the $824,000 owed to Detroit following his 2013 conviction. Despite his sentence commuted by former President Trump, Kilpatrick, who is black, now leads a Tennessee nonprofit. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Well, if you're heading through Malibu, PCH both directions at Winding Way remains a one-way traffic control because of an earlier crash and an ongoing CHP investigation. If you're heading through Monrovia on the 210 eastbound, there's a stall right before Myrtle that's taken away that left-hand lane, so you're backed up to the 134. A crash in Santa Monica on the 10 eastbound before Centinela, that's in the 2 right-hand lanes. You have a crash in Orange as well on the 5 northbound right before you hit the Orange Crush. That is caught blocking the carpool lane, so right now you're slowing down at 4th Street.
Need money for the holidays? Avoid the yikes before Christmas. Hurry into Jackson Hewitt for a holiday loan on your tax refund, up to $1,000. Early refund advance offered to eligible clients. Application required. Finance charge applies. Loans by Republic Bank. Details at jacksonhewitt.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
A highly anticipated WNBA season tips off today with 4 games on the schedule. The 2-time defending champion Las Vegas Aces are at home tonight against the Phoenix Mercury. The The LA Sparks open up Wednesday night. They'll be at home against the Atlanta Dream. The game will be played at the Pyramid at Long Beach State, 7 p.m. tip-off. Tiger Woods is getting in some practice rounds in preparation for the PGA Championships. The PGA starts Thursday in Louisville. 4 of Tiger's 15 major titles have come at the PGA. Tiger hasn't won a major event since the Masters in 2019. Injuries have the 47-year-old Tiger in a slump. He hasn't had a top 20 finish in his last 15 tournaments. Important day for Bronny James. Today is the first day LeBron's son competed in 5-on-5 scrimmages at the NBA Scouting Combine in Chicago. Details on Bronny's performance tomorrow. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Follow the leader. KBLA Talk 1580. Follow the leader.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at KBLA 1580.
Follow the leader.
Are you ready? The station leading the way with exclusive interviews,
Follow the leader.
stimulating conversation, and intellectual discourse that empowers, enlightens, and informs.
Follow the leader.
Follow the leader at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Keep following the leader.
Follow the leader. Follow the leader. Follow the leader.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Family Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data, and you get to choose who joins your family plan starting as low as $25 a line. Does it have to be family? It can be family or people you like.
Get more lines and more savings. Switch to Straight Talk for family plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
If you say you care about the community, you have to also care about the climate. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black. KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 believes in community empowerment through the arts. Tia Chucha Central Cultural is on a mission to transform community in the Northeast San Fernando Valley and beyond through ancestral knowledge, the arts, literacy, and creative engagement. The Northeast San Fernando Valley has a population of about 500,000, the size of the city of Oakland, yet it has no bookstores, art galleries, or full-fledged cultural spaces until Tia Chuchas opened its doors in 2001. Founded by renowned poet and activist Luis Rodriguez, Tia Chuchas Cultural Center provides a year-round free or low-cost arts and literacy bilingual intergenerational programming in mural painting, music, dance, writing, visual arts, healing art sessions, and healing talking circles. Activities also include Mexica, Aztec dance, indigenous cosmology, philosophy, and 2 weekly open mic nights, one in Spanish, the other in English. In addition, they host author readings, film screenings, and art exhibits. To express yourself, heal yourself, attend an event, or volunteer, please visit www.tiachucha.org. That's TIACHUCHA.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Keeping you informed about what's really going on.
Who's got next?
And what not to miss in entertainment. You're listening to The Rob Report on KBLA Talk 1580.
I had a dream, I changed the world today. Black and underprivileged, writing, thinking what will Martin say, especially in this day and age where people hide behind the page and say the type of things that they won't say to no one face to face. Dream number one, I pray no one uses guns. Understand they for protection, but they taking mother's son. Dream number two, dreams in the ghetto coming true. Only way we think we getting out is shooting through a hoop. That's not true. Genius brothers.
You were inside the Raw Report on KBLA Talk 1580. Wow, who is that? That's a vibe. I like it. And it's kind of seems positive.
It's a Queen Niger song, but it's featuring Mod the God, so that's who's currently rapping right now.
Wow.
The name of the song is More Love.
More love.
More love.
I love that. Well, thank you very much for that, Andy. If you're just joining us, welcome on up in here. We are having a conversation about Shaunie Henderson, formerly Shaunie O'Neal, who was married to Shaquille O'Neal, who put out a book, and she basically, in the book, had said she doesn't know if she was actually in love with Shaq or if she was in love with the idea of marriage. Actually, someone put the quote here specifically. I think it was, thank you, Lavelle Delone. He says, this is exactly what Shaunie said in the book. Looking back, I don't know that I was ever really in love with the man, but I was in love with the idea of being married to the man I had a family with. He says, Lavelle says, what context are we missing? Basically, you said that in your book. What is the context that we're missing? She says now, Shaunie O'Neal, that her words have been misinterpreted, and we're missing it, right? So it's basically given us a reason to have this conversation about putting out clips and sound bites and things that, as content creators, we put out things for people to debate on, have discussions about. And Penny Thompson here over in our YouTube says, people like to form their own opinions. Clips can sometimes be a magnet for negativity. Well, I received that. Let's go ahead and get to this phone call from, is it Jeff? Jeff Brown from Pasadena. Hey to you, Jeff.
Hey, sis, how are you, man? I really, first let me say I absolutely enjoy the show, the station. It's about time that we have had something like this that is intelligent talk radio for us. I love it.
Thank you so much.
Question. I need somebody to help me out. Could you frame? Because I must admit I haven't read the book.
Mm-hmm.
All I've heard is other people's opinions. So I need to hear from you or anyone. What's the warm, wonderful, positive way to frame? What am I missing in I never loved him? If somebody could, since that's the only piece we have, what are the other pieces that make us go, oh, that's why you said it, and that's okay?
I like the way you put that question. I like the way you stated the question. I personally have not read the book. Daja Bell, I don't know if you've read the book or have even more context behind that. Do you have any?
I can't do biographies. They stress me out. But that's not my genre to read. I think that the conversation or the quote, if I'm quoting it correctly, is not that I never loved the man. It is, I'm not sure if I ever loved the man, because the thought process was more of being in love with the person that I had a family with. Am I getting that correct?
Well, that'll do. Well, let's form that one. And who here would like? Yes. Let me put it in gender role.
Right.
Sure.
If that's the case, so I'm going to use an I statement, and I'm going to speak from my point of view and what that looks like and sounds like to me as a woman, right? I have been in love before, but the man that I'm marrying next year, the love that I have for this person makes me question any love that I've ever had for a person before. So if you go to me and say, 25-year-old Daja, were you in love with your boyfriend at that time? I'm be like, of course I was. Like, I was in love with him. That was my boyfriend. That was like my man, like whatever. But 35-year-old Daja, with the man that I'm marrying now, if I was to compare, that love does not it's not comparable at all to the love that I have now. So in my mind, now that she's married to someone else, it is not something that is like impossible to look back at a prior marriage or a prior relationship and say, I don't know if that was really love or if I was in love with the idea of keeping this together, because the love that I have today surpasses the love that I've had before. That's how I took it. That's how I looked at it without even reading, just coming from the context of a woman and somebody that has been in love in different stages of my life. And I'll say to like right now, like I've never had I don't have no exes. Like my husband is my husband and that's it. There was nobody before him. And I have a child before him. So my child's father could probably feel some type of way about it, but I really mean that because this love surpasses anything that I've ever seen before in my life.
Okay. And Jeff, please, by all means, you can respond.
Absolutely. And I think that's an absolutely fair assessment to make and say. From a male standpoint, I'm going to look at this and take the two adults out and put the children in. To me, that is a selfish comment to make because what you have given is a nuclear weapon to all of your children's present and future enemies. They are not going to be fair with that comment. Those are the kind of comments to, again, and this kind of dovetails over into Sister Gail on the front cover of Sports Illustrated. Gail is Big Mama's age, we can agree. But we can also agree that this points to the fact that everybody says we need Big Mama, but don't nobody want her job. Because Big Mama was not preoccupied with sexy, nor could anybody call her selfish. These are the kind of things that, to me, in an era of class, you would keep to yourself. That's why when you look at Elizabeth Taylor's memoirs, who I'm stealing a little bit from Brother Jason Black right now, but Elizabeth Taylor's memoirs were written long after all the people concerned or could be affected by it were long dead. This to me seems a bit appeasing to the new man, because what do you do after you have been married to a king? What do you say? With regard to marrying kings, in my opinion, from a man's standpoint, this is why Coretta never got married again. This is why Sister Betty never got married again. They married kings. That's a big shadow to step in. You know how much ego farming you got to do daily when your man was shot, beloved by the earth, size 23 shoe, and all that implies?
Well, let me say this. I'll say this. I get that. If Shaquille O'Neal was handling his business outside of being the money man, outside of being the big man, the size, all that shoe, the size shoe, like if he were affectionate, if he were loving, if he cared for her, and of course he provided for her and all the things, then to me, those shoes would be difficult to fill. But if he wasn't fulfilling, sometimes a woman is saying, I know the audience here, the Raw Squad is going to disagree with me, but according to Shaunie, she says, this is the very first time I've ever felt a real partnership in marriage. This is the very first time. So then it made it easy for someone who could provide that partnership. It made it easy to step in those shoes because you're actually not trying to fill shoes. You're feeling like filling a ghost shoes. You get what I'm saying? So, but my last question to you, Jeff, is do you feel as though Shaunie, she was allowed to think that, but she just shouldn't have said it in her book?
Without question.
Okay, that's where you stand with it.
You're not, to me, I believe that I am responsible for what I mean. We are responsible for what I say. If I run into KBLA and say, I'm about to eliminate myself and everybody around me, when I really mean I just want to talk, hold on, I'm going somewhere, and I really mean I just want to talk, y'all not responsible for I just want to talk. Y'all responsible for the ignorant mess I said before that. So now she has made us all. This is what you do when you write. This is the power and the responsibility of words. You make others responsible for your thoughts. And just to me, as a mother with children, I think it was, whether it's true or not, has nothing to do with, and again, back to Gail, has nothing to do with class. It just wasn't classy. It was true, it was honest, it was forthright, and it was written, but it was not classy.
Okay,
I say that in a piece to y'all.
Wow, we truly appreciate you, Jeff Brown from Pasadena. All right, that's a word. Daja, anything to say to that before we close up on that conversation? Do you feel similarly that, you know, I know we were talking about context initially, but just going back to her statements, do you feel as like you agree with Jeff that you can feel that way, but it becomes a little bit more irresponsible when it comes to writing, actually putting that content out there, especially when you have children with that man?
I'm a Brooklyn girl through and through, and one thing I'm never raising is no punk kid. So you gonna handle your own. Like, what you gonna say? Your mommy never loved your daddy. Shut up. Who's your dad? Tell me his name. Tell me your granddaddy's name. Shut up. Like, that's how we're raising ours over here. Okay. So no. Okay. I think that if I, as an adult, I'm putting out a memoir, I'm putting out a biography about my life, it is my responsibility to be honest and forthcoming with my truth and my perspective, because that is the point. Like, I'm not sugarcoating that truth or that perspective because somebody can use that as quote unquote ammunition against my children. You can use anything as ammunition against your children. Like, she literally spearheaded Basketball Wives. You can use that as ammunition. You're going to use these small words from my mother's book, but you can't use the fact that my father cheated on my mother dozens and dozens and dozens of times and was running around with women that are closer to the age of his children, still running around with women closer to the age of his children. So who's the classless one here? The one that told the truth in the memoir, or the one that basically degraded their vows, and the reason why the family is not together anymore because they could not honor thy wife? Like, what are we really talking about here? But then I'm from a new era.
I get it.
Don't play with me.
Totally get that. Listen, we have to keep you on the line. We're not done with the conversation. But Pretty Brown Mimi says, didn't Shaq cheat on her? So Shaunie can say whatever she wants in her memoir. Okay, we're gonna finish up the conversation on the other side. You guys are listening to KBLA Talk 1580. Stay there.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Denzel Whitaker, and I'm on the Raw Report.
You're inside the Raw Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Life can throw unexpected challenges our way. Black families need support. Children require safe, loving, temporary homes. Research shows that children in foster care thrive best when they remain in their own communities. The strength and love within the Black community can provide a sense of belonging. We need your help to consider opening your hearts and homes. Contact fosterlakids.org today or call 888-811-1121. Again, 888-811-1121. Become a foster parent today.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, Black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Stay Housed LA has the resources you need to know your rights and the legal support to back them up. The COVID-19 pandemic has cost people their jobs and livelihoods. This has left an estimated 1/3 of households not being able to make rent and facing losing their homes. This is a fear no one in our community should have to face. You have rights, though, and Stay Housed LA is here to help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between the County of Los Angeles, the City of Los Angeles, and local community and legal service providers. Together, they provide tenants with the information and support needed to exercise their rights so they can remain safely in their homes. Find out more about your rights by participating in a virtual tenant workshop. Get the legal assistance you need. Find additional resources in Los Angeles County and the City of Los Angeles. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA County for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. Stay connected to Stay Housed LA for updates. This and more at stayhousedla.org. That's stayhousedla.org. Or call their hotline at 213-694-0040. We've got your black with a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Giving you your daily dose of entertainment and celebrity news. You're inside the Rob Report with Robin Ayers on KBLA Talk 1580.
Okay, we are still in this conversation about Shaunie Henderson, formerly Shaunie O'Neal, who was married to Shaquille O'Neal. It is so funny. I'm reading in the comments. You guys really are coming for Shaunie's throat right now. You say basically this was a part of her plan. You kept having children with the man so that you were set up and your future was set up. And, we're now having this conversation about what she should have said versus kept to herself when writing this book, and that it was maybe a little bit too much and classless to put her true feelings inside of a book. I disagree with that. I disagree because this is the point that we're having this discussion right now here at the station. I feel like the things that Shaq did, and he's owned up to, by the way, I respect it. But the things that he did was so out there, it was public. But this is also the public figure. He's the multi-million-dollar man, right? He was the legend, the NBA legend for so long, and now businessman and all the things. But we're expecting Shaunie to have the feelings. It's okay to have the feelings, but not share your feelings inside of a book, inside of a memoir. Why should she have to reserve her comments when everything that he had done was publicly out there? I don't disagree. I don't agree with the fact that people want to put a muzzle on her. People are shaming her for saying what she said. Whether it was taken out of context or not, and you believe that it was taken out of context, to me is a little bit beside the point. The woman said what she said, right? She actually meant what she said. It made it to the final cut in the book, so she meant that. Now, I don't know how you can take it out of context, so I don't know what she's saying right there, but I'm okay, even if that is how you felt. And you're like, listen, I'm not sure I was ever in love with the man. I was in love with the idea of being married to the man who I had children with, and she wanted to create this family with. I don't see that there's anything wrong with that. And to Daja, your point about, which I think is brilliantly said, sometimes you think when you are in a current situation, you think that of course I'm in love with you. I'm still here. I still love you. And so people sometimes conflate the two, that you love someone versus being in love with them. You can conflate the two. And sometimes you do not know until something else. They say you don't know pain until you knew joy. You don't know joy until you've had pain. You don't know rain until you had sunshine. It's similar, until a man can actually come into your life and heal and love you and love those wounds and love you like you've never been loved before, and partner with you the way that someone has never partnered with you before. You thought you were in love, but possibly you found out along the way through your journey and your healing process that you weren't actually in love. I don't see anything wrong with that. Andy, go ahead and get in.
How long has she been married with Mr. Henderson?
It's only been a few short years, or maybe even a year or two, something very, very short-lived.
How do we know that her mental is still not like in this honeymoon phase with this gentleman? I'm curious to know her feelings maybe 5 years down the line.
I'm not sure,
But
but
I feel like her and the pastor, they've been dating for quite some time. Like, I'm not quite sure on, I don't know if you guys have like a computer nearby, because I'm not going to get mine. I'm not sure exactly when they got married, but I do know that he's a pastor, I believe out in LA. I'm not sure about that, but he is a pastor of like a mega church, and they've been together for quite some time, which was part of the reason of her like slow departure away from basketball wise, because now she was transitioning into the realm of a first lady, so she had to like basically choose. But me following her from that platform, I can say that they've been together for a while. Maybe not married for a while, but they've definitely, I would give it at least 4 or 5 years of their relationship. I feel like they've been together longer than me and my fiance have.
Yeah.
So
that could be. They have been married for 2 years. It says, so in May of 2022 is when they got married. So they just celebrated 2 years. I'll say this. I know we're closing up. Daja, this has been such a great conversation with you, but sometimes I feel like, you know, there is such a thing as the honeymoon phase or whatever, but even in the honeymoon phase, you understand who somebody is. You're not completely with your head in the clouds. You understand the core of a person and what they're able to do for you, and how they can help your life and assist you in your life, and how they do make you feel, how they come through. And that part doesn't change. That part, you know, the core of a person won't change. And I feel like she knows the core of her husband currently, and even if it is the honeymoon phase, she's like, listen, even in this, I've not experienced anything like this before. So anyway, Daja, let everybody know where they can find you online. They need to be following you.
You can find me at So Shameless Pod on all networks, and then my personal page is Miss Daja, DAJAHBELLE, so Miss Daja Bell, and then you can see me and my beautiful Black family that excludes my child's father, and it's only pictures of my fiance because he's the only one that matters. There you go.
There you have it. Well, listen, I appreciate you so much. Enjoy the rest of your night, Daja. Thank you.
You too. Good night, y'all.
Thank you. And Jeff, he said, I wish I was still on that phone. You can call in anytime to chime in on our conversations. Raw Squad, I appreciate you so much. What a great conversation and great show today. You can't change the station because you already know who's up next. Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. And he's so ready, y'all. He's so ready to get to the show because it's going to be hot like fire. Anyway, I appreciate you so much. Remember, my name is Robin Ayers. And today and every single day forward, be a blessing.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. New York City is preparing security for Pride Month events in June following a federal alert that terrorist organizations may target Pride Month. Mayor Eric Adams, who is Black, says the city is taking it very seriously and prepares for those events. He says the police department is focusing on security